Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Make Money with Mace podcast. I'm your host Mace, and today I'm just going to be recapping the best bets I placed and go over the rationale, win or lose, and recap my look-aheads, which ultimately were not as good. They somehow ended up being just slightly better than my best bets I handed out, and take a look ahead to some stuff I like heading into the weekend. So, the first best bet I suggested was the for money line as a series was to take a look at the Miami Marlins at the St. Louis Cardinals, and my main reason for picking the Marlins as a good team is that they win a lot of close games. They had just beat the crap out of the Cardinals in a pretty entertaining series right before the All-Star break. And I was just not expecting the Cardinals to have much life heading into the trade deadline, expecting a lot of guys to move like Jack Flaherty and Paul Goldschmidt. And ultimately, the Marlins didn't perform well. You know, it happens, long baseball season, and getting swept is unfortunate, but it sort of is what it is in this situation. Not great. Sandy Alcantara had another bad start. Jesus Luzardo wasn't as sharp as he could have been, and they didn't really hit very well against a poor pitching team. And, long season, that's baseball. It happens. The bet that I should have flipped and should have put for my unders, in all honesty, was the Tampa Bay Rays at the Texas Rangers, just because the Rays have not been hitting the way they did at the beginning of the season. And I sort of believed in the overall numbers more than I did the recent numbers. And Shane McClanahan dealed, Dane Dunning dealed, Nate Eovaldi dealed, Taj Bradley was solid. And both these teams, their starters pitched very well, and it didn't leave a lot of room to take advantage of the bullpens like I thought they could have. And ultimately, learning situation here, and nothing that I'm feeling too bad about, on all honesty. Houston ended up splitting run line against Colorado, which is what it is. I really loved the Hunter Brown start. It flipped. John Belak ended up winning the run line bet as opposed to Hunter Brown, and again, splitting that is pretty solid considering my unders, only one of the 3 games for unders between the Minnesota Twins and Seattle Mariners hit. And with their pitching staffs, if you told me that they would go over 3 out of 4 games they face each other, I would have fainted. Their pitching staffs are still really good. I just couldn't believe that they hit as well as they did in this series. So those best bets for look-aheads weren't great, and I do want to talk a little bit about the best bets I placed and sort of break down my rationale for picking them in an audio format along with the articles I've written about them. So, and I'm watching the end of the last best bet this Thursday right now. Houston at Oakland. Currently it's 1 out, top 7. Houston's got a runner on, and I just need him to score 1 more run. Kyle Tucker saved the day, so at least that was correct. So I'll take a small win on that front. So my first best bet of the week that I suggested everyone take was Minnesota Twins at Seattle Mariners under 7.5. DraftKings had it at even, FanDuel at -115, and Barstool Sportsbook at -120. And the reason I picked it was because Logan Gilbert and Sonny Gray both did, they've both been having really good season. Logan Gilbert especially has been coming on strong. Sonny Gray is putting together his best season since he was in Oakland. And it's one of those games where you see the stats, you see the bullpens, you see the pitiful offenses, and you really, really, really hope that they just don't end up scoring. And unfortunately for me, they ended up scoring quite a bit. Seattle ends up winning that game 7-6, clearing the over by a full 6 runs. And what really ended up costing me was the Twins put up 9. No, they didn't put up 9. They put up 3 in the 9th. And just the bullpen did not hold for either team, where the starters kept it fairly close. Mariners ended up 4 runs in the 5th, Twins scored 2 in the 3rd, then they each scored a pair in the 6th, and that killed the under right then and there. And sort of is what it is. Not killing myself over it, but really was hoping for an under in that situation. And the next best bet I handed out was, give me 1 second, taking a look real quick. Yeah, it was Baltimore to cover against the Dodgers. That line was crazy. DraftKings had him as a dog. The DraftKings had him as a favorite. FanDuel and Barstool had him as dogs. And I really was hoping for Baltimore to keep covering, doing what they're doing. I really loved what Tyler Wells has been doing all season, especially with the not walking anybody. And the Dodgers went and just kicked his ass. There's no other way around it. Really, really, really pushed him, and man, bad beat. bad beat I handed out in that situation. So, looking to correct that going forward. Nothing much to say on that one. And then the third bet, this one, actually, the Houston, I just need 1 run, and I think I just got it. Foul ball. Never mind. Best bet, 7-19. Eddie Rodriguez was dealing. The logic was there. I don't think Ryan Yarbrough was throwing hard enough for the Detroit to hit home runs. That's sort of what they do. They get a lot of their runs off slugging. And there was a lot of warning track shots to straightaway center that just barely didn't make it out of the yard. And against a harder throwing pitcher, that probably would have. And yeah, feel okay about this considering Detroit won and they pitched well. So, and just taking a look there, Houston is going into Houston just needs to get 1 more run. That's all they need, and I'll have another win. Don't want to go undefeated for this stretch in terms of best. Not undefeated, defeated. I'm going crazy. Don't want to be defeated for this stretch of bets this week. But yeah, Eddie Rodriguez dealt. Nothing much to complain about there. The Tigers offense could have scored a little bit more. I feel like they were hitting balls right at guys and didn't really take advantage of a poor bullpen, which I was really hoping for. But if you bet money line on them, they got the win if you weren't too confident in the cover. So not the worst case scenario there. And then my bet tonight was Houston to cover against Oakland. It's a full-on Houston dominates Oakland. 6-0 against them on the year with a 31-9 run differential. I just really need that 1 extra run to get the cover, and I'll be cruising. If not, just start fading me. Won't hurt my feelings. And so those are the best bets I had this week. Looking ahead, there's a couple of intriguing series, I should say. Mainly, I really like the overs in the Dodgers-Rangers series because those teams hit the over a ton. In the case for the Dodgers, they're 55-36 on overs this year, and the Rangers are 48-40. And especially tomorrow with the pitchers they've got going, Tony Gonsolin and Andrew Heaney, they walk a lot of guys. They leave guys on base. They give up extra base hits. They're not very good this season. So I'm expecting the Dodgers and Rangers to score a lot of runs in general this series, but especially tonight, Friday, tomorrow, depending on who you are, where you're listening, all that good stuff. Could be in the future, could be in the past, whatever. So I like that series quite a bit. 2 really, really excellent offenses, top 5 in, on base, slugging, total runs scored, runs per game, all those important stats for an over bet. So that series I am expecting the overs to hit, and especially to Friday, July 21st. The next series for covers that I'm interested in Actually, start with money line. The series for money lines that I'm really interested in is the Pittsburgh Pirates going to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and it's a total trend. The Pirates are likely going to be selling. They are probably going to continue on their skid. They just lost a series to Cleveland. The Angels coming off a sweep of the Yankees, and they really want these wins. They really want to be in playoff contention. So I'm thinking that we're going to see the Angels winning hopefully 2 out of 3 if you're a money line bettor. I see a lot of... Give me 1 second. I'll flip the money line. So I'm looking at the totals. Yeah, just for like the first game, which is Friday, July 21st, money lines at minus 190, and you live with that. Not the worst thing in the world, especially if you're going to parlay it with Ohtani doing something ridiculous. So that's what I'm looking at right there. For money line series, for an under series, I love Kansas City and New York because they're both pitiful when it comes to scoring runs. I think Fangraphs has some awesome stats about how bad they are at scoring runs. 1 second. Oh, yeah. Give me 1 second. So they use weighted runs created plus as sort of their proprietary stat. And I do want to see... Where's NYY? Yeah. The Yankees are 21st in runs created plus, which is basically a stat at how good your offense is at, creating runs. Pretty straightforward. And the Yankees rank 21st, and I would love to see that without Judge. They're so bad at offense right now, one of the worst in all of baseball. I'm sure their post-Judge splits are ridiculously low. And then we got the Royals, who are 29th. They're even worse in runs created plus. So really looking forward to that one. And I want to see Baseball Reference, I believe, has runs per game. That's what I want to see. Yep. The Royals only score 3.74 runs per game, which is good for second worst in all of baseball. And the Yankees only score 4.35. And if you're going to be getting lines for overs and unders that are, 8, 9, I would definitely take the under on those. Yeah. 8.5, take the under. These teams are not good at scoring runs whatsoever. So yeah, definitely take the under there in the Yankees Royals series. And for run line, I really think I was going to say Cincy and Arizona. That's a weird one. Arizona is on a road trip, and I'm taking that into account, and Cincy's been covering like crazy, covering at a better rate than Baltimore. I believe it's 62-35, I want to say their record is right now. Yeah, against the spread, Cincy is 62-36. Ridiculous. And they do a lot of overs, so if you're into that sort of thing with overs and parlaying that with something else, I would definitely do that. Like if you're gonna parlay like Cincy Arizona over with Dodgers Rangers over, could see that working out. And the thing is, I think Arizona without Merrill Kelly, their pitching staff doesn't have as much teeth. So Zach Gallen pitched today. They're not going to have any ace quality guys going for them. So I think Cincy has a really good opportunity to jump all over them and cash some run lines. Offense is great. They're fun. The pitching staff is not good. So Arizona might be able to take advantage of that a little bit. But they're going from Atlanta to Cincinnati. They were just in Toronto. Long time on the road. I like that sort of thing for a Cincinnati team that's trying to get back in the swing of things. I think they just took a series from the Giants after getting swept by the Brewers right out of the break, and they're in the middle of this division wild card race, so look for Cincy to take advantage of a, in all likelihood, tired Arizona team for run lines. And the run line tomorrow is plus 146 on FanDuel. That's really good. Plus 155 DraftKings. Have to check Barstool Sportsbook separately, but in the meantime, yeah, take that run line. So, yeah. Going to do another weekend recap, but for now, signing off. Hope everybody has fun betting or betting with me or fading me. Peace out.